Oh.
Holy shit, we're parents. Hey guys, this is your doula Hannah, and you're listening to Holy Shit, We're Parents, the podcast where we talk about making babies, birthing babies, and trying not to lose our minds raising them with my ADHD only child husband, Justin.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, last episode, you left me tantalizingly teased and potentially tortured about agonizing for who knows how long about what this next Reddit post is, and I will have so much to talk about.
Yeah, this is going to be a you-heavy episode. Are you prepared for that? Do you think you can talk that much?
Can you edit it? I see how... I see you mock me, and I was genuinely concerned about if you were going to be able to edit it because I might not. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I took.
All right. It's about daycare.
Oh.
So I have zero experience with
What about daycare?
going to daycare, and our kids don't go to daycare.
What about daycare?
The title is...
Hey, did you go to Tots and Tykes in Atlanta? And if so, did people sit on you and pinch your thumbs during nap time if you were bad, and does nobody believe you?
No.
Oh, because that would have been crazy, and I would have had a lot to say about
this
that.
This is exactly why our kids don't go to daycare, though. My 6-year-old was attacked by multiple kids, and teachers ignored it. ... Kinda.
Bro, what?
Yeah. My 6-year-old has been going to this daycare for 3 years.
Wait, daycare? 6-year-old? Is that right? Is that not weird?
No, that's not weird. Especially like if he started at 3 years old and then like goes after school or before school, because
I
mean, even like through kindergarten, there's half days and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My mistake. Okay, I was just... all of that when I was little was wrapped up with the school I went to. So for me, daycare was little. Why do I remember it?
Because it was traumatic.
It was.
All right. So, been going to this daycare for 3 years. He used to be violent at age 3, but has gotten better. He was almost kicked out of daycare 2 years ago. Since then, they say he is one of the most behaved kids now, and we get compliments all the time. Since it's winter break, my 10-year-old is temporarily going to daycare and today was the first day he went with my other son. When I picked up my kids, my 10-year-old boy said a 4 and 5-year-old boy were fighting my 6-year-old son, literally choking him, wrapping their hands around his neck. My 10-year-old was yelling and defending punches that were being thrown at my younger son, and the teacher was telling my 6-year-old to fight back. I thought this story was crazy, so I called my husband and he called the daycare. He called me back saying he is in complete shock. The teacher's response was, "I didn't know you didn't want your son to not learn to defend himself."
Oh my God.
Apparently, hitting back is encouraged in their daycare. At home, my son will have emotional meltdowns and throw things. And now I'm wondering if it's due to this daycare. But since he is good in kindergarten, is it just him releasing the frustration at home because he isn't learning to cope with his emotions properly because daycare teaches him to punch through it? What would you do? And have you ever experienced
What would
this
I
before?
do? Well, I would be at that daycare with my hands on somebody, telling them to fight back.
Right?
What the fuck I'd be. Oh my God.
Don't you know how to defend yourself?
Whoa.
Right?
Lord have fucking... Oh my God. Oh, I hope there's an update for my sanity. I hope there's an update, and I hope this person has removed their kids from this place. But like, first of all, the kids would not be going there anymore. Secondly, if I was not actually allowed to go there and get physical, because, I mean, my kids don't need to see me do that or know how to shit gets handled, or they don't need to handle stuff that way. But if something happens, Daddy didn't learn that, so sucks to be whoever. If that was not able to happen for some reason, I mean, I would be, first of all, I'd be calling the police or CPS. I'd be saying that they have like a kid fucking fighting. Oh my God, I'd be saying all sorts of fucking shit to get all these people investigated. I would find out who these people were. I would be exposing them to internet groups, trying to get them doxxed. I would be trying to make whoever said those things about a little kid being attacked have the absolute worst fucking time they possibly could, after I made sure that our kids were removed from that situation, we made sure that they were okay, and kind of good.
Yeah, it's fucked. So there's a couple comment updates. This was posted 6 hours ago.
So I would again, I was trying not to, I was gonna get emotional. I still might. Would be, all right, go on.
OP said, we reported the teacher to the owner. The owner stated, why don't you want us to teach your kid to defend himself? So this is encouraged behavior. This has me and my husband completely shocked. Next comment is, thank you everyone for commenting. I was wondering if I was just soft by thinking this is absolutely crazy.
No, hang on, I'm sorry. I'm about to ask you to comment to this person and tell them that we're discussing this on a podcast, and give them our advice at the end.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure these kids never go back to that fucking place. I want to make sure if that place is within fucking pissing distance of our house, that it is shut the fuck down.
Right. Never in my life did I expect this kind of response. And if my 6-year-old told me, I might not have believed him, but my 10-year-old is honest to a fault and would not make up this story. We called the daycare to clarify what was happening, thought it was going to be maybe a miscommunication. I did not expect the teachers to say it was a general rule that they encourage hitting back. I did ask my kids if the teachers hit any of the children. They do not. Teachers apparently have never put their hands on my kids or others that they've seen. Not that it makes it better that they have a full-on child fighting ring going on.
Ah, good. I'm glad. See, that was what I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm in complete shock. I'm waiting for my husband to get home, and we are going to talk about it, and I'm going to enroll my sons in an after-school program. We're going to have to look for a new summer daycare.
All right. Okay, good. That makes me good. Ma'am, I hope your husband comes home and you don't get a phone call from the police, but if you do, I understand.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. So yeah, I would absolutely, yes. I love what this person did. I'm glad that they posted, and I'm glad they got the feedback that they did and the response they did. It makes me sad. First of all, okay, maybe go back to what I was saying. I really hope they're building up and giving that 10-year-old props.
Yeah.
For putting himself in the middle.
It's all right. I'm glad he stuck up for his brother. That's what I would want our son to do. And they did, I find it encouraging that so many people are I don't know where you're located, but in the US, you report that daycare to CPS. At the bare minimum, you need to get the daycare to say this in writing and blast that to every parent in your area so this can go public. This is insane, and someone's kid is going to end up in the hospital.
Very well said.
Yeah, someone else said, call the state, call the city, call the news. This needs to be, and finally file a police report.
Yeah.
A teacher watching two children gang up on your child while a much larger child tries to intervene is very problematic. Like, these kids shouldn't even be in the same area at any point of the day because they're all different ages and have different regulations concerning how they're
Yeah.
cared for.
Oh. Man,
Yeah.
that got me. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucked up. But my point of, like, bringing this post up is how much daycare scares the living shit out of me because I have never heard a good daycare story.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where it's like your car. You know what I mean? If everything's running right, you don't hear about it. You shouldn't have to hear about it or think about it. It should be a place that you can give your trust to, because the only people doing it should be people that give a shit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, life doesn't care about should.
Right.
If anything, should not exist as a word, because what does it mean? You know, like, so so that's not the case. And unfortunately, what kind of happens is bodies are needed because of, some rightful regulations that there needs to be X amount of just people over 18 basically around for X amount of kids. So it can kind of become a catch-all of just, we'll take whoever because we just need bodies so we can take more kids so we can make more money.
Right.
So it's just, and that's not new. That's like from the dawn of other people watching other people's kids. Like, very seldomly are you paying somebody to do anything and they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it to make that money. So as soon as you start paying somebody to watch your kids, they start seeing your kids as those dollar signs. So that's what's like weird to me about daycare with our kids, especially, because we're fortunate enough to not have to worry about it.
Right.
And we get to have them be around people who see them as people and not an amount of money or a potential expense or whatever, or a liability. Oh shit. I mean, as somebody who had, and I guess what maybe is being called daycare is something that I would have looked at or would have been called camp after a certain age, like a day camp. Especially over like a holiday break. Like, you don't go to like daycare when you're 10, you go to a day camp.
Yeah.
So maybe that was what threw me a little bit when you first brought it up. But I went to a lot of great day camps and stuff because both my parents worked. So during long extended like school breaks, I had to do something. I was lucky enough to get to go to a lot of the same ones over and over again. So I got to build friendships at all these different places. So it made me super good at building relationships with people and then not being a part of that, but then being able to hop right back into it. Unfortunately, it didn't make me super good at the in-between those parts because typically I was somewhere else with another group of friends and giving my full attention to them. So I was lucky enough to go to a lot of great day camps that had a lot of great counselors. You know what I'm just like, it's funny thinking about it now. It was always camp, but it was daycare. That's so hilarious. Like a lot of great counselors who like I think about still positively always. I have zero negative memories about so many camps, but there was this one daycare that I went to before I started school. So I was like 2, 3, where I have just extremely traumatic memories, or maybe not memories, but like shadows or like, implants just deep
Yeah.
in my brain of very negative things that happened. Like really no positive. Maybe the one positive memory I had from there was we did this cool thing where we all had to bring in like a white t-shirt. This was either there or preschool. If it was preschool, then well,
I think it was your preschool.
yeah. Why?
I thought that's what your mom said.
All right, but I don't. All right, we'll have to check.
Yeah.
But anyways, we did this thing with the t-shirt and like paint, and you put a golf ball in a color of paint,
Oh, I
and then
was
you
thinking
put
of
it in a
something else.
box,
Okay.
and you would like roll it around by hand. Obviously, like I can have a memory of an adult holding my hands on the side of the thing, moving it around. And like other than that, I mean, there's just straight like actual like bad physical things that were allowed to happen to me. Maybe I don't know that they like were done to me, but like that was where I fell off of that play set and cracked the back of my head open and had to get stitches. It was also where I fell forward. So if you see a lot of pictures of me as a kid, I have one of my front teeth are chipped.
Yeah.
So I fell onto like the cement or the brick, like outcropping of like just a one step in to a door.
Yeah.
But I was little, and I think there was kids behind me or something. And I fell forward, hit my face on it. So I mean, that's two big, pretty traumatic physical things that happened there that had lasting effects or whatever, signs, whatnot, whatever. So I mean, that's pretty fucking wild. I mean, I can still generally, like, again, remember the memory of falling and chipping my tooth.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
It is. And like those things could have happened anywhere, but then you've also shared with me, like you brought up at the beginning of this episode, how they treated you during nap time, where they pinched your thumbs if you weren't sleeping. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like right there, like the cuticle.
Like the cuticle.
Do it right here by this lady's vagina. Yeah. Yeah, and like they would, and in hindsight, maybe not like sit on me, but it felt like it. But they would like sit there and like lay a leg over you, and like they was big Southern women because it was in Atlanta, in the 80s, where people weren't like caring, whatever,
Yeah.
like caring, so like there was big women, so it was a lot of weight, and like I think that's what I remember was like a sense of like not like suffocation per se, but like maybe like general claustrophobia.
Well, yeah, and you're
General claustrophobia.
toddler-sized with a large adult leg laying across you. You're gonna have trouble breathing.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and like I don't know if that wasn't the thing, but it was just like the trapped nature of it, I think. And then the pinching of the thing.
Yeah. What the fuck? It
was the South in the late 80s. So everything went.
My literal only direct experience with daycare was I worked for one at, I think I was 18 or 19. I think 19. And it was out of this lady's house. She lived on a farm. That part was really cool. We got to, like, I would take the kids out to see the animals. She had peacocks, like, cool shit. She was a miserable bitch. She was never nice to these kids. I hated having to work, like, with her in the room. And it was all, like, I think the oldest kid there was 2. And the youngest was probably like 6 months. And I literally only lasted a week, maybe less, because I wasn't allowed to like hug the children for comfort when they were crying. Like these were babies. it was such a
And
weird situation.
She was full of these stories about how kids just don't want to work and kids don't want to these days.
Yeah.
No, nobody wants to work. Nobody wants poor me. Yada yada. It's like, bitch, you a bitch, you a cunt.
Right. When I started there, she complained about how hard it was to like find consistent help. And I realized within a few days it was because she was a miserable person to work for.
I feel like that's one of those lines that, like, if you ever say it or think it, look in the mirror.
Right.
There's why.
But then I also think about,
I mean, unless maybe you like clean septic tanks.
I was 19 years old. At 19, I had a drug and alcohol problem. Like, I was going out all night long, coming home and sleeping for 2 to 3 hours, and then going and being put in charge of children and never, like, asked about my background.
And you were probably one of the better candidates.
Right. Like, and I think about that and like taking our kids to somewhere where some 19-year-old fuck up is in charge, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, because like you gave a shit, but you were a piece of shit because you're supposed to be.
Right. Because I was a teenager.
That's what 18, 19, and like 20 is for.
Right.
Yeah, but like.
And I was in charge of people's kids.
Most people are just a piece of shit and they don't give a shit.
Yeah. And so I think about that experience and how, like I said, it was like a week or probably less of my life. And like, I can't imagine putting our children in that situation.
Yeah.
And I'm a good person.
My like general like interview question, if we ever put our kids in a daycare or a situation where we were paying somebody to watch them that wasn't like school.
Yeah.
It'd be like, okay, are you the sibling of somebody with autism? Yes. Our kids can go here. No? I don't know. Yeah. Because I feel like there's just like, just knowing you and other people through you, there's just this like extra little like spread on layer of like give a shit.
The caretaker.
Yeah. Like again, even when you were in the piece of shit age, you probably still gave a shit more than any other 19-year-old on drugs who only slept for 2 hours who had ever been there.
Right.
So, yeah. That would be my interview process.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I feel like that's something also that I wish more people would keep in mind when you are being interviewed or whatever, going in to chat with a daycare. I think these days a lot of these places try to build themselves up and put themselves on a pedestal of you need to impress us, so we select your child to come here. You know what I mean? When in reality, you should be the one scrutinizing the fuck out of them. Like, are you good enough for our child to come here? Like, this is an interview process, but not in the way the daycare thinks it is.
Right. There was just a daycare in our town that the woman who ran it was arrested for abusing kids.
For encouraging kids to hit each other?
Probably. At least on that level, because she was arrested. And it's just, like, it blows my mind. And like,
I will say the one thing is that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like you said, you knew it would be a me-heavy episode. I'm glad, if I can say this, I guess, that I had that negative experience now. And I'm glad that I've always been vocal about it. I've always talked about it. Like, you can ask my parents, and I've been saying this since forever. They probably don't remember a time that I wasn't saying this about Tots and Tykes in Atlanta, Georgia, in the late 80s. Well, it wasn't technically Atlanta. It was probably more in the Smyrna or Marietta area. I'm putting them on blast. Maybe they're different now, but they weren't then. Like, because I think that gives my parents a lot more drive, and especially now that, and it leaves them more open and receptive to these negative stories about daycares now. And it gives them more drive to put us in a position where we don't have to send our kids to daycare.
Yeah.
Which I so appreciate.
Oh my God, I'm so grateful.
Yes, so much so every day. Always try to say thank you to them in person too. So again, that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it fucking sucked, but it luckily paid off, I think. You know what I'm saying? Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah, like it made a difference for our kids that happened to you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've definitely noticed that, they have been a lot more receptive or open to like hearing about those stories and being like, fuck that daycare.
Right. Yeah. I
For
mean,
some reason, a lot of parents aren't. It's so weird.
Well, and like that lady said in that post, if her 6-year-old had told her that story, she said she probably wouldn't have believed him. But it was her older child, so she took it more seriously. And even then, still didn't fully believe him and like thought it was a communication issue.
Imagine if the place had lied. Imagine if they had shame. Like, imagine if they had been aware of their piece of shitness.
Right. And we're just like, I don't know what your kid's talking about. That never happened.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess it's a good thing that they are shitty and ignorant.
Right. Oh, like, it kills me. And like, we had another friend, back when we lived in a different state who posted this heartbreaking story about her child and their daycare experience and this like whole chain of daycares that's being investigated there now for like emotional and physical abuse and like the effect it had on her, I think now 4-year-old daughter, and who is like dealing with self-esteem issues and like became like a shell of herself as a child because of how she was being treated at this daycare, and her mom didn't know what was going on and finally figured it out and is like getting her the help she needs now. But what the fuck?
Yeah. I remember that specifically because that was like the story I feel like was the first time, at least to me, my parents were like, whoa, daycare is shitty. It sucks. Because it was a very popular chain.
Yep.
That was everywhere. And then, it was getting shut down and investigated, and everything was being proven true, and more stuff was coming out.
Yeah.
And it was like everything that was being investigated was, it's worse.
Well, and like I made it a point to specifically tell your parents about it because it was our son was very young when it was happening, and they were just starting to like take him more. Yeah. And I was just like, this is exactly why I'm grateful to have you guys.
That was when my dad was like, they will never go to daycare.
Yeah.
And like, this is my job.
Yeah.
And I hope, that was when he looked at it more like that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I think I saw a turning point in him when he was able to see that as like a way to add his worthiness, because that's very important to him.
Well, and I think it was tied to his career for a very long time, which makes sense. And now it's tied to being the best person he can be for his grandkids, which is a beautiful thing to see. Yeah,
and like you do see that, at least I do, a lot with the grandparents or like older men that I interact with, because like it's a lot of them. Hey, I'm sorry. So like I think I see a lot of like with the like the bodywork stuff. I've interacted with a lot of older people, and a lot of them are just wealthier because you kind of have to be to pay for bodywork stuff on top of life right now. A lot of older men are like workaholic style guys, and you can like kind of just tell.
Yeah.
Dive into that, like I'm grandpa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of them don't. And I think for a long time, it wasn't the cool thing to do or whatever, but now it is being praised a lot more and appreciated a lot more. So a lot more people are being able to feel value from it as opposed to feeling like it's a burden.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be a burden.
No, I mean, you should absolutely pull value from that.
I hope our kids love us enough to want us to be around their kids.
Yeah.
Or I hope they, like, have loved their experience as children enough to want to have kids.
Right.
Whether, that's have kids, adopt, whatever. I don't give a shit. Just have kids in their life.
Yeah.
And then have us in their life around the kids. Yeah. because I feel like that's kind of what, like, that's how it should be. Like, you should have to earn it.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't, it's not a right. Like, you don't have a right to be around these kids just because, like,
You
gave birth to me.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, at least for me, it's like, I want my parents around our kids because I think they're good people.
Right.
I think they have flaws, but I think everybody does because we're all human. I think I have flaws, and, like, you have flaws. Everybody has flaws, but I think they have a lot of good things that outweigh those flaws, and they bring so much value to the kids' lives. And you know what I mean? I might not agree with it all, or the approach, or the wording, or I might not want religion in the message that they're giving them, but I want that message. And if that's how they're happy and comfortable delivering it, okay.
Then yeah, we can get past that.
Yeah. Because, like, they're not, like, demanding or anything about it. They're not pushy, which I appreciate. Like, they're not, we need to take them to church. Like, I think I even offered to let them take our son to a Christmas mass if my mom wanted to, but she was like, no, it's okay. Maybe I did, or I meant to. I was gonna.
You talked to me about it. I don't think you ever talked to her about it.
Oh, well, Mom, if you're listening, I meant to. So maybe next year. Because, like, again, I'm okay with that being a part of the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as somebody who was forced to go to church every single Sunday, I envied the people who it was just like, oh, Christmas time, we do our one mass, holidays, you know, and then it's more of just a social thing for us because we know people who, we only go to this church once a year because we know people who go here. So we're more just here for the coffee and donut social afterwards. Anyway, you know what I mean? And, like, that I'm okay with. Because that part of religion I'm cool with. Like, the community. Yeah. It's the other, it's literally almost every other aspect that I have an issue with.
Like, that's a whole other episode too.
So again, that's something that, you know, I'm okay with that being in the message if it's what makes them happy and makes them want to continue being involved. Yeah. You know, because again, the message outweighs that thing that I kind of disagree with. And that kind of is a micro, like, scope of my whole overarching views. Like, anything I disagree with them about, all of the good that I know they're bringing to the table outweighs that. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not going to address those things if I think they need addressing. I will, obviously. Yeah. But I'm never going to be like, you can't go over to Nana and Pawpaw's house because I disagree with them. Right. Unless it's dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like a fundamental, foundational thing.
Yeah. Unless they're like, which they never would, like teaching hatred or anything like that. Yeah. Yes. But they never would. So again, that's not something I ever have to think about. Be concerned about. Yeah. What are we talking about?
Daycare.
I was talking about my parents and how, like, cool they are.
Yeah. But they're why we don't have to send our kids to daycare.
True. Yeah. Okay. What else about daycare? Did you have more stuff to talk about daycare?
No, I honestly thought, like, you'd have way more to dive into.
Well, I mean, I don't have, like, facts or anything like that. I only have, like, my negative experience. But again, see, I have to, like, like, look at a lot of, like, memories and how they relate to my feelings on daycare because, again, like I said, I went to a ton of day camps that could very easily be classified as quote unquote daycare. You know what I mean? They were just labeled in this way that I guess as an older kid made me feel cooler about going to it, or maybe made it more sellable to parents or whatever. So, like, if we include, like, the day camps I went to up to a certain age, my overall experience was positive. Like, like I said, like, Mr. Paul, was a counselor at a camp I went to, like the next place I went to in my memory, at least after, like when I needed to have a place to start going to after I had been at Tots and Tykes, the bad place.
Yeah.
Was like great and like had a lot of understanding. I mean, helped us figure some stuff out. Actually talking about this story, this is so funny how anxiety works. One of the things was I would always have to pee. I have to anxiety pee. So when we would drive places, I would always have to pee in the middle of it because I knew I couldn't. It's making me have to pee right now because we're talking about it. So anyways, after these messages, we will be right back. Holy shit, we're parents. Hey guys, welcome to the ad break. Just real quick, if you like what you've heard, or you just like Hannah or myself in general, and want to support us, feel free to follow us on Instagram at Holy Shit We're Parents. Like and follow on whatever listening platform you are enjoying the podcast on. And follow us on Patreon if you would like to financially support us without feeling like you're just giving us money. Or you can just give us money there too, I think. Either way, thank you very much for listening. And here's Hannah with the ads.
This episode is brought to you by Booby Superfoods, the real MVPs of postpartum snacks. Whether you're breastfeeding, chasing toddlers, or just need something that doesn't make you feel like garbage, Booby's got you. Get 10% off your order at boobysuperfoods.com/revive and thrive. That's BOOBIE superfoods.com/revive and thrive. Because your boobs and your sanity deserve nice things. Okay, moms, if you're still living in those crusty maternity leggings from 3 babies ago, it's time. Comfort sweats are basically the uniform for surviving parenthood. Soft, high quality, and somehow still cute even when covered in spit up. Go to comfort.com/Hannah66030 for 10% off your order. That's CMFRT.com/HANNAH66030. Because if you can't have peace and quiet, at least you can have comfy pants. Holy shit, we're parents.
And we're back. All right. So, I guess you should have brought us back. I'm not talking because typically you're the one talking, so I bring us back. But, like I was saying, I have a lot of positive, like, what I guess is daycare experiences also. So, like, that's now like fucking with my head because, you know, for forever it has been so solid in my brain that it's like, fuck daycare. And now I'm starting to understand why my parents were not immediately always like, fuck daycare, because literally every other swing was a home run.
Yeah.
At least in my memory and in my experience and in like, so like what else matters?
Yeah,
I guess.
I get that. I do want to dive into some statistics that back my fuck daycare, even though I didn't have a bad experience with it as a child, but the reason that I am so against it.
Thinking the only like negative camp experience I ever had was at sleepaway camp, where I pretty much like cried at least once every day. One time, not even my first time there, I don't think, or maybe it was, inconsolably to the point where my parents had to come get me after a couple days, and I am like so sorry because I know they still had to pay for it, and like in hindsight, that was really shitty. But I never had a bad day camp experience, so like shit. Maybe like daycare's not all that bad. I don't know. My world is rocked. But sorry, go on. You have facts.
Okay, so this is just looking at the state we live in. 2020 data had 878 reported serious injuries requiring medical attention at daycare facilities.
Like, it's so weird to my brain because like that's so many, but like it's also my brain, and a part of it, it's like, well, there's a lot of kids in daycare.
Right.
It's so weird how the
How your
brain
brain
is.
like justifies stuff. This statistic from 2021 doesn't give an overall number of fatalities from child maltreatment. However, it does say that 33.3% of those fatalities were victims under 1 year old. And so far, I guess in 2025, Tiny Tykes locations were closed in Colorado, which is not one I've heard of. And that there were 9,777 reported cases of abuse or neglect.
Holy shit.
So there's that. And then I did find the article about
But
the
I
daycare.
had good camp experience. But I bet.
Survivor's bias. So the one that I just heard about last month, like I said, is in the town we live in now. It was an in-home daycare with just this one woman who's been running it for 10 years.
All right. I'm just going to, kind of real quick,
Yeah.
I would never. I'm not knocking people who do, because I have one of my best friends sent his son and maybe daughter to a daycare like this that was like run by a family back east.
Yeah.
Had been. They were kind of like famous for doing it. I of course remember that in like the group chat we obviously gave them shit because like it is weird to take your kids to another adult's house to leave them there without you now, I feel like.
Yeah. I can't do it.
So it's like, to me, that is like, I know there's good, and like he says they've never nothing but great things to say about it, yada yada yada. But like, to me, that's just
It's terrifying.
So it's like, if we're going somewhere, we're going in your personal vehicle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
weird
saying?
stuff.
It's
Well,
like,
and like daycare facilities, like not somebody's home, at least typically have cameras now. Like that's probably not the case in somebody's home.
well, and it's like, I for me, yeah, is this regulated? Like, are you licensed? Is that a legitimate thing on the wall? Like, because at least I know if it's a brick and mortar place with a big sign out front and a big fenced in thing and their name plastered everywhere with a van that's got the name on it, a government, somebody's going to stop in there at some point.
Yeah.
Even by accident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's probably not happening at every house with toys in the yard.
Right.
So
Yeah, that sketches me out.
yeah.
So the police, like,
Well, and I mean, I'm sorry, if I can go further, like, is this daycare you're sending your kids to at somebody's house legitimate enough to be on a type of list that a registered sex offender would legally have to be aware of? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, on paper.
well, yeah, and I think that comes down to licensing. So this
Because,
was
like,
a licensed daycare.
Okay, because, like, again, like a legitimate brick and mortar place, again, that it's its own freestanding, all we do here is daycare, and then when we're done with that, people leave. It's a very clear,
Yeah.
you have this assumed sense of safety that if any person who's not supposed to be within a certain distance or is for too long or whatever, people will be suspicious and get notified. I don't think you
Right.
have that with a house.
Right. And yeah, again, I think the difference there is like it's a licensed facility. So, like, as far as sex offenders and stuff goes, I don't think they can live within a certain distance of
All right.
licensed facilities. But not everywhere is going to be a licensed facility, and that's I feel like
I feel more likely
yeah.
in a house. Yeah.
So this person, they don't know how long the abuse has been going on. They've asked for more people to come forward because, like I said, she's been licensed for 10 years. And this was all caught because a very young child, it doesn't say the age of this one, but I assume it's toddlerish because toddler and younger, it's really hard to break bones.
Yeah.
Like almost unheard of.
Yeah, because they're like not all the way bones yet, right?
Right.
A lot of them.
So parents brought their son to Children's Hospital, Colorado, because he was favoring his left arm and complaining of some like aches and pains. And so they did a full skeletal exam and immediately called Department of Human Services. Imaging showed an old fracture in his left arm, a healing fracture in his right arm, and possibly an old fracture in his leg.
What?
The boy's parents were informed he suffered an intentional break. They were investigated first.
Well, yeah.
So they had no idea what happened, denied having any serious concerns about daycare, but then after being asked specific questions, created a timeline and noted several dates when their son had what they thought were minor injuries when picked up from daycare, and were told and believed it was due to being in a daycare with slightly older children and roughhousing. Injuries ranged from a bruise above his left eyebrow, a large gash under the chin, bruising along the top of an ear, and poor weight gain. So there's concern that she was potentially starving these children.
Oh.
That came up again with other kids as well, including a 4-month-old whose weight gain drastically suffered a month after entering this daycare. Another parent then came to investigators noting several previous minor injuries, all of which happened at daycare.
Oh, let me go back and say that again. All right, I guess we'll take another break. Try to walk gently over the futon as far that way as possible. Make the back again.
So yeah, other parents came forward with what they thought were minor injuries that are now realizing they probably should have looked into this sooner. One parent came forward with a baby who had sores on the back of their throat that and the side of their tongue, which their pediatrician told the baby's parent that one reason could be that their bottles were likely extremely overheated.
Oh.
Yeah. So suddenly lots of parents coming out of the woodwork. And like the police were saying, this was a well vetted, highly reputable, been open for a decade daycare. And highly recommended. So many families were
I automatically hate that was even said how long it's been open. It's like, okay, cool. So they've been
so she's
being
been doing
shitty
this
for
for
a
this
long
long,
time,
right?
yeah.
Or then is it she's pissed she's been open this long and started hurting these kids because she's sick of doing this? Like, there's so many things that it could be. But yeah, the fractures in the right arm of the first child were found to be consistent with intentional action and inconsistent with an accidental fall or typical play amongst children, regardless of size. So she had a court appearance at the beginning of December. I don't know what happened with that. But again, that's just one example in the town we live in, which is not that big.
Well, hopefully she was physically incapable of making it to that court appearance.
Right.
Because the lovely women in prison made that certain.
Yeah, that would be hopeful. So yeah, I have an extreme bias against daycare and am very, very grateful for the situation that we are in. And I feel for the parents that don't have other options because they don't have outside support. And I just really, really hope you're doing everything in your power, including your own background checks and like diving in when vetting these places instead of just relying on word of mouth.
Yeah. I don't know. What am I supposed to say?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't.
I wasn't sure if you had other stuff to talk about.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. How long has this been? I don't know. We probably should talk about something else, though.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm sure
what's new with you? I don't know. Maybe we could have a new segment where we just talk about what's going on in our world of parenting. I don't know.
Well, our daughter's awake and sitting up again, so I think we're done for the night.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. So, until next time, I'm Justin. That was Hannah. You can check us out on social medias at Holy Shit We're Parents. You could probably like follow us on Twitch, I guess, if people still do that. When we do start going live again, we tried it once. I didn't like how it worked out, so we just recorded these with video, and we'll see how that goes. So maybe you'll be seeing these on video. Maybe you'll just be hearing these as audio. I say that so much, so something's got to happen. But anyways, so follow us there, just in case. YouTube, follow us there. Holy Shit We're Parents. You can follow me on Instagram at Daddy Muscles. Hannah's at Your Doula Hannah. Until next time. Bye.
Holy shit, we're parents.